Hello, and thank you so much for clicking and for watching this video. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? And of course, just leave a like because, as I always say, that would just be really nice. And of course, leave any thoughts, comments and feedback on the video because all your thoughts, comments and feedback help me when I'm creating future content. Do you have any thoughts on Leicester City's current run in the Premier League? Are they consistent enough to really make a push for the Champions League or the Europa League? How do you feel Southampton are progressing as a football club? And what next for Manchester City? They've got a big game tonight in the League Cup against Arsenal. But speaking of Arsenal, we need to talk about Arsenal very briefly because that will lead me into the next point that I want to make. Arsenal Football Club currently sitting 15th in the Premier League. Do I think they're going to get relegated? No. Do I think they're too good to go down? No. Do I think they have players that are good enough to stay in the league? Yes. But I have to ask this question, and this question relates to something that Simon Jordan said on TalkSport. Now, I will read you the quote. I'll read you what he said. Now, I will leave a link in the description so that you can see the full clip. TalkSport own all the rights to the footage, but I just wanted to put it there so that you could see it and you could hear it for yourself. But this is what he said. So he says, if we only judge people in success, then ultimately we are one-dimensional, because out of adversity comes character. Now, I believe that to be true. I think you have to judge people over the long term rather than the short term. And I think in Arteta's defence, he has inherited a squad that I don't believe are good enough for the size of that football club, and I think that there have been problems at that club for years. Just as an outsider looking in, I feel like the reign under Wenger was damaged because they didn't have a lot of investment within the squad. They didn't have the players of the standard that Arsenal had been used to. Your Thierry Henrys of this world, your Patrick Vieira's, and I think they suffered. And Wenger, I always thought he deserved more. Even as an outsider looking in, as a United fan, I thought, well, hang on, this man's the most successful manager in your club's history. He's done an incredible job, and even without the support or the investment from the board into the squad, in areas that they needed, they were desperate for it, and he kept them at a really competitive level for a long time in that top four. And Arsenal fans wanted more. They will say, well, we were challenging for titles, we were in a Champions League final, and now we're scrambling around for the top four. And once they fell out of that, winning FA Cups not good enough for us. He did an incredible job, and I think Arsenal fans now are seeing the reality of the situation, or seeing what was, you would hope you would see what was really going on. Now, I'll get back to my original point. I get back to the fact that Arsenal are in 15th place, and Mikel Arteta is a young coach, but he's been defended by the media. He's been defended by pundits. He's been defended by people like Simon Jordan on TalkSport. He's given a lot of leeway, in my opinion, because he's worked alongside Pep Guardiola. He's come from the school of Pep, and Pep can do no wrong. So Arteta must know what he's doing. He must be the answer to all of Arsenal's problems. But I ask you this, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sitting in 15th place with Manchester United Football Club, would he be afforded the same the same praise and the same leeway as a Mikel Arteta? No. And that's happening now. Now, this is also from Simon Jordan. This is from a few weeks ago. He said, if you go to mediocrity, you're going to get mediocrity in return. That's my bugbear with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And Jim White says, you've got an agenda against him. And Simon Jordan said, no, I don't have an agenda against Ole. I have an agenda against mediocrity. Apologies, he said, no, I don't. I have an agenda against mediocrity. Effectively the same thing. So what he's saying is, when we think about the Mikel Arteta quote, he's basically saying he'll learn, he'll grow, he'll get better, and this will build character. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is constantly criticised because Manchester United aren't at the top of the league. He's constantly criticised because our performances are inconsistent. But we're sitting 5 points behind Liverpool with a game in hand. I don't think we're going to win the league. I'm not deluded. I know where we are, but I can see progress. But I ask you this. Why do the media, why do people like Simon Jordan, why do they have an agenda and an issue with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Why is his points return this year considered mediocre? Now, there's this myth that United are a really poor team and they're average. I'm just gonna read you some facts here, some stats, and again, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because I love talking to fans, to different people, and I love listening to what people have to say. So this is since the beginning of January this year. Liverpool, 30 years without a title. Liverpool have accumulated 75 points since the beginning of January. 75 points. With Jurgen Klopp, it took him the best part of 4 years to take Liverpool to the title. They won the European Cup before that. There was a plan in place, there was a structure. He had experience at Dortmund, which is, I'm taking nothing away from him, effectively in Germany, it is a two-team league, really, isn't it? Let's be serious. It's not the most competitive league, but to win the league, you can only beat the teams in front of you. So he comes in, he's given time, and he moves the players on, brings his own players in, good players, Van Dijk, Fabinho, other players. So that's Jurgen Klopp. This world-renowned manager. Right now, he's lauded. He's like the darling of the media. People love him because he's a big character and he's got a big smile on his face and he's always charismatic. So, we love Jurgen Klopp, don't we? We absolutely love him. He's a fantastic manager. Manchester City have accumulated 63 points since the beginning of January. Manchester City are managed by Pep Guardiola, another darling of the media, who managed at Barcelona and took over a team that had won the European Cup in 2006, that had a core group of players at his disposal. He had Iniesta, Xavi, Puyol. I just think, he was effectively given the keys to the city there. He goes to Bayern Munich, and again, I'm taking nothing away from Pep. You can only beat the teams in front of you, like I said, but he's given everything. He's given everything. He's never had to rebuild a team. He's never had to change the culture. Again, Madrid is effectively a two-team league. I know Atletico mount a challenge like Dortmund in Germany every now and again, but effectively it's Real Madrid and Barcelona. Other teams don't have the wealth of Barcelona and Madrid. So it's not competitive in the way that the Premier League is. Goes to Germany, manages Bayern Munich. Again, not the most competitive league. Doesn't win him the European Cup, but he wins them other trophies. Comes to Manchester, and he had a core group of players there. And Manchester City, Bayern Munich, they've got a core group of players and they go and win trophies. Comes to Manchester City, and again, it's got a core group of players. They've already won the league. They know what it's like to win. So it's easier for him to implement his philosophy. It's not like he's going into a toxic environment where they haven't won the league for 5, 6, 7 years, and he's got to rebuild everything. And I'm going to need time. And no, it is 50, 60 million on a player. It's easier when you have the tools at your disposal. It's much easier. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's point return since the beginning of January, 61 points. So Liverpool 75. Jurgen Klopp's had 4 years. 4 years at Liverpool. Manchester City 63. And United 61. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who is constantly disrespected by the media, pushed aside, told you're not good enough, 61 points. 14 points off the supposed best manager in world football right now. 2 points off the greatest manager, supposedly, of our generation, who's had everything, the keys to the city. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sits 2 points behind Pep and 14 points behind Liverpool with points accumulated in the league. Can you tell me what this man has done to warrant so much negativity? He is not immune from criticism when it comes to team selection. Fans will do that. Pundits will do that. That's their job. We have that right to question managers and players. But with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it seems to be on a completely different level. And the leeway that is given to Mikel Arteta, it's baffling. It's baffling. So Mikel Arteta can manage Arsenal Football Club. They're in 15th. He's won an FA Cup. I'll take nothing away from that. I love the FA Cup. Take nothing away. God, I would love Ole to win a trophy. But in the long term, Ole has done in the long term. Ole's doing has got a plan. He's got a plan in place. Well, he has. I don't know whether I trust the board, the people above him, but he does. He has a vision, and he's trying to carry it out. And constantly, he has everything he's ever achieved. It counts for nothing. It counts for nothing with the media, with the likes of Simon Jordan. I'll read you his quote again. If you go to mediocrity, you're going to get mediocrity in return. That's my bugbear with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But with Mikel Arteta, it's if we only judge people in success, then ultimately we are one-dimensional, because out of adversity comes character. So Solskjaer taking United to third last season after being 14 points behind, after from day one people saying you're not good enough, hammering this point home, and he does it, and he's got us some fantastic results. Now in the long term, those results in terms of trophies don't mean as much as we want them to, or we think they do in the moment. But he's done it. He's got us the results that are required. And we can say, oh, well, we won 3 of 4 derbies last season. We can say, out of the 6 times that Ole has faced off against Pep, he's got 3 clean sheets. We've got 3 clean sheets against Manchester City in the last 3 games. 1-0 in the League Cup, 2-0 in the league at Old Trafford, and that 0-0. Now, even if you say that 0-0 isn't a great performance, it's a clean sheet against Pep, who, let's face it, City score for fun. So why is such leeway afforded to Mikel Arteta? Why? I'll tell you something else. Frank Lampard, let's look at Frank Lampard. Since the beginning of January, Chelsea have accumulated 56 points. Now, Frank Lampard, to me, he's a good young coach, like Ole. He's learning his trade. I think he did a decent job at Derby, and he's been given this massive opportunity. But Liverpool 75, City 63, United 61, Chelsea 56 in terms of points since beginning of January. No criticism for Lampard. There is no criticism. Last season, people said, "Oh well, he didn't get like his players, and this wasn't really his squad, and he's having to use young players, and they've got to adapt." Now he's in his second season. He's achieved less points than Ole, and he doesn't get criticised. There's no one comes out and criticises Lampard or Chelsea. But now maybe it's because oh well, he previously played for England and we all love Frank, so we can't criticise Frank. He needs time. He's an English manager, so he needs time. So we'll get behind Frank. We'll just lay off Frank. Guardiola and Klopp, like darlings of the media, in terms of like, oh, they've got these big charismatic personalities, and they're doing documentaries and they're doing beer commercials. Yeah, but Ole, because he just goes about his business and does his job, and he's not doing all these adverts. Because he hasn't come from the school of Klopp, and because the school of Guardiola, and because he hasn't managed in Germany, in the Bundesliga, and gone up against Bayern Munich, then all his achievements and accomplishments they're worthless. They're worthless. They count for nothing. People talk about, oh well, he was only at Molde. Yeah, he was learning his trade. What do you want him to do? That's a job, and he went there and he won them their first title. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I can remember, he won them the first title. Did a job at in the United Reserves, learning his trade. Goes to Cardiff, doesn't work out. It happens, but that will always be held against him. That will always be held against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That he went to Cardiff. Spent a short amount of time there. When he went there, I never thought he should have gone there. I knew he was linked with the Aston Villa job. I didn't want him to go there because I thought it was too soon. But he went to Cardiff, and fair play. It didn't work out. But this happens. So I'm struggling to understand how Simon Jordan can say, if we only judge people in success, then ultimately we are one-dimensional, because out of adversity comes character. So is he saying Ollie's got character or he doesn't? What is Simon Jordan saying there? So in terms of Mikel Arteta, if it doesn't work out, that's okay, because it wasn't him, it was the players and it was everything else. But he'll learn, he'll get better. But if Ole has a bad experience at a smaller club, no disrespect to Cardiff, and it doesn't go well, then he's a failure. And this is a narrative that you hear constantly. And the more you are tuned into it, the more you notice it. It's there. There's an agenda. And it's tiring, it's tiresome. Give Ole more credit than you're giving him. And I get it. Oh well, if we put this out, then this will get views. This will get, no, we'll just hammer Ole. But it's tiresome. And I just can't believe what I'm hearing sometimes. I really can't. If it's all about, if you're at the top of the league, and you're grinding out results and not playing particularly well, let's put it out there as it is. Liverpool dropped points to Fulham and Brighton recently. Well, they got a result, didn't they? Yeah, they got a result. They weren't at the best, but, they put 7 past Crystal Palace. And everyone's lauding this performance. There's only a point between Crystal Palace and Leeds in the league. There's only a point between them. But we put 6 past Leeds, and you've got people saying, well, Leeds, they had injuries and they kept going. Plucky Leeds. What? This double standard that is happening, and it's happening right in front of us. It's happening with pundits. It's happening in newspapers. It's happening with people like Simon Jordan. And I can't get my head around what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done. I think if he's louder, and if he's arrogant, or if he's doing commercials, or if he's got like a bit of a track record at another club, then people go, you know what, great, that's fantastic. But because it's Ole, no, we just don't like him. And what it reminds me of is when there's that kid at school that is a really nice kid and it's a bit quiet and just goes about his business, but nobody likes him. Everyone's got a snarky remark. Everyone's got some shithouse comment to make. Why? They can never answer you why. They can never tell you why. But they just don't like this kid. And that is what I'm seeing with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is a player that was out. This is a manager that, as a player, was out for 3 years on the sidelines. He got himself back to fitness. And in his final season, he won a league title with United. Scored his 11 goals in that season. Pivotal part of us winning that title that year. So don't question the man's character. Don't question the man's mentality. Just because he's quiet and he's not dancing about on the touchline or coming out with snarky remarks, it's tiresome. And I just don't understand this media narrative at the moment, this negativity towards Ole, this agenda. I don't know where it's come from. I don't know why the likes of ESPN just cannot stomach United and they can't stomach Ole. But, I guess that's the world we're living in now. We're living in a negative world and it doesn't feel like it's just a bit of banter between fans. It starts to feel personal. It starts to feel like, oh, they actually don't like this manager. They don't like him. They talk about, they should get this manager in because he's won this amount of trophies. Get this manager in because he's won this in this country. Well, that hasn't worked. So what do they know? They're not experts. They're just like you and me, except we don't get to broadcast our opinions on national radio or national television. But, I just can't understand it. And I think listening to that last night, I had to really get my head around it because I thought to myself, am I exaggerating? Am I overthinking this? Am I losing my mind? Am I just telling myself that there's an agenda against Ole and United? Am I just looking at this from as a United fan? Am I just blowing this thing out of proportion? And then you hear him say, if we only judge people in success, then ultimately we are one-dimensional because out of adversity comes character. I must be losing my mind. I must have imagined that. It mustn't have happened. I heard that, but nobody else did. So Arteta is sitting in 15th with Arsenal. Take Europa League form and the FA Cup away. That's this season now in the league, they are sitting in 15th. He needs to be afforded more time because that will build character. But Ole has accumulated 61 points since January. He's taken us to third in the league after being 14 points behind. We're 5 points behind Liverpool with a game in hand. And regardless of whether you think we're going to win the league or not, that has to be viewed as progress. We put 6 past Leeds, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I'm tired. I'm tired of the negativity. I'm tired of this Ole out bullshit that I'm hearing, excuse my language. And you would just absolutely love it. Just shut these pundits, these negative people up. They just want to hammer Ole. And if I wasn't OleIn before, I'm more OleIn now than I've ever been before. So there you go. Do you think there's an agenda against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I will leave a link to that Simon Jordan piece on TalkSport. And until next time, don't forget to subscribe, leave me a like, and of course, leave any thoughts, comments, and feedback in the comment section, because that will help me when creating future content. So until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all soon.